All right. So I wanted to share with you some messages from the angels or the universe or whatever you want to call it. Um, because I've been approached in the past, once for sure, but also a couple other times that people have been mentioning something. And I've heard the same question throughout the years since I went through my spiritual awakening. And that is something around the line of, why are angels or guides not here to help me? Why do other people have guides or the experience of being guided? And why do I not have this experience? Are they not there for me? Did I do something to deserve that? Or also, why aren't they helping me? Can't they see that I am in a really shitty situation? Or how come there was nobody there when I had suicidal thoughts, or when I had thoughts that were very negative and almost dangerous? What is the reason why that I have not had the experience of somebody guiding me during that time? I actually believe that all of us have guidance during difficult situations. And it is just some of us are a little bit more self-aware, that we're still a little bit more open spiritually. We have our channels a little bit more open, they're less blocked. And so some of us are maybe better able to recognize a higher guidance and information that we're receiving to help us through our lives than maybe some other people will. This does not mean that one person is more deserving or one person is better than the other person, has nothing to do with that. Um, how I see this is that we're always guided spiritually. We always receive spiritual guidance. And sometimes we hear it and sometimes we hear it, but we don't want to have it true. Or sometimes we're in so much anxiety or we feel so shitty about ourselves that we just shut ourselves down. We don't really want to fully experience what we're currently experiencing. And so it becomes really difficult to be open to any kind of higher guidance or information. I don't know, but I remember when there were times when I was so shut down, I was so upset, so sad, and so angry. There's absolutely no way that anything could have ever reached me in that moment. Um, I kind of used to see it this way. Like I used to see myself, and this is literally a vision. I would see myself like in a washing machine, and the washing machine would just kind of like turn me around and around and around. And there's no way of getting out because the G forces are like pushing you to the wall of the washing machine. And so the only way to get out of it is literally if somebody, like, if I put my hand up a little bit and somebody stuck a hand in and we grabbed each other and they pulled me out, or somebody pushed the stop button on the washing machine, right? And got me out. But I always felt like that I had to do a little bit something for it too. I had to like stick my hand out. I had to request help from something greater than my little human self. If my little human self can't figure something out, which often it can't, sometimes you just don't have the answers to things, and a lot of times that happens. And so we have to be open to allow higher guidance to come in and show us the way in some way, form, or shape. And how that shows up is different from person to person, from experience to experience. It can be that you're looking for a job, you can't find employment, or you don't know what to do with your business. And then suddenly maybe you see something in the newspaper or somebody's referring you to somebody else and you find a position that actually works for you. Or maybe you find a position that isn't the greatest, but maybe that position leads then to another position and then another one, until eventually you find something that really fits your life circumstances and what it is that you want to do in your life. So I feel that we're always guided. We're never left here alone. No, we don't have a manual when we're born. However, if we're willing to listen and to be open to higher guidance, we can find our way through life step by step. And we never have to fully know exactly how we're supposed to be doing it. Never. a lot of times I had no idea how I'm going to do this. I had no idea what I'm supposed to be doing, or maybe I received some insights about what I'm supposed to be doing, but I didn't know the hows, I didn't know the whys, I didn't know the whens, and it was always very, annoying, right? Because you want to know, you want to get there. And when I was about 18 or 19, I was doing an apprenticeship to become a medical technologist. And I asked my higher guidance, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? Because I felt like there's something else that I need to be doing, or something else that I wanted to be doing. But at the time, it felt to me as if the means for me to be able to do this weren't there. There was something that told me that it's just not quite the right time yet. It's not divine timing yet for this specific thing that I wanted to do. So one of the things that I'm supposed to be doing, this is the information I received from my higher guidance, is I'm supposed to have my experiences and then share my experiences with you. So, but if you're at the beginning of your life journey, I mean, sometimes you don't have the ability to yet share your life experience because you're just starting your life, basically. So you haven't had your experiences yet. You haven't had. One of the things was I have to share my psychic experiences with you, and which is, it was very, very difficult for many years for me to even trust my own abilities or trust myself to be able to do that. Or for many years I had dissociation. So that meant even psychic experiences, I would literally, my mind would kind of go blank because it didn't make sense. It seemed too like crazy, and I just didn't really want to go into that. I didn't really want to share that. So I believe in divine timing. I believe that when you arrive in a moment in time where you are emotionally and spiritually open enough and you feel confident enough, you're going to do it. And even if you don't feel 100% confident or 100% able or capable, you need to start doing it. Because what I also found over the years is that by me taking inspired action and doing the thing is actually how I learned to trust myself and how I learned to believe in myself. And so I would develop myself, even my gifts or abilities would develop themselves while I was taking actions and while I was doing the things that I felt guided to do. So if it was like doing spiritual readings for somebody, or just listening to my higher guidance to take certain actions that would then lead me to meet certain people who then ended up being a part of my soul group, which then helped me to develop more of who I am. And so this is why it's so important that we are listening to our own higher guidance, and that, and just take it from there and move yourself forward that way. So I really believe that you have this higher guidance and that you are always receiving information. If you're seeing it as that, or if you're believing yourself, or if you're believing that this is what it is or not, that's another question. Right. And sometimes we shut ourselves down because we're too afraid to think that there is really something greater than our little human self. Right. And so we're not always 100% open to receive that guidance or receive that help from higher guidance or angels or God or whatever you want to call it. But it's always there. It is available to anybody. This is not just for specific people or special people. It is for everybody here. So this is the message I wanted to share with you today. And I really, really want to share with you my angel story. I started sharing it on TikTok and then posted it on Instagram. However, these are all little videos and it's kind of hard. I had to delete one of the videos because it was a little bit too revealing and too exposing somebody else, and I didn't really like that. I didn't feel right about that. So I will be sitting down, hopefully next week, and actually really share my stories about how that I remembered speaking to angels when I was very, very, very young, just a toddler, and how that when I was about 35-ish, I started remembering having had conversations with angels as a little kid. And also the reason why that I had conversations with angels as a kid. So there's a reason for that. And I'll be sharing a little bit more about this. I really, really love that story. It's also why I've started writing a little bit about it. I really want to write a book about this because I think it's really fantastic. And I like the message that comes from that story, that message of hope, or that message that even if you don't remember that you had conversations with angels or spirit when you were a kid, you know, I didn't have those memories either. I didn't remember that I had this happening to me at all. You know, it was about 35-ish when I started receiving the memories back from the things that I experienced as a little kid. And then as I started talking about it, I realized that there's people in my past that actually knew about this, and they have actually told me about it. It's just when they told me about this, I couldn't remember that it ever even happened. So if I didn't remember it, it's very likely if you can't remember speaking to angels when you were a kid, then you also maybe just forgot that you spoke to angels when you were a kid. Because I really truly believe, especially if you had a really difficult childhood, if you went through a lot of trauma as a child, the angels, spirit, God, it was there for you. There's no way that it wasn't there for you. Okay, so I just want to leave you with that message, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.